Hey guys, so today I'm bringing you another video and welcome to a Challenger Spectate. And I will say over this kind of Christmassy period, you may get a couple of these, not too many, I'll try my best. But obviously, I travel around Christmas time. I don't just stay at home and I'm not just having like 6 to 7 days off staying at home. I travel to go see family members technically in a different country. A lot of driving, a lot of traveling. So obviously I'm kind of preparing a week a bit more ahead in terms of content. So that's, you know, 2 videos a day, one on Huzzy Games, one here on Huzzy Extra, and there may even be a couple extra little bonus videos here and there that I throw up over the Christmas period on either channel. Because the premise for me is, you know, Christmas for a lot of people is a great time, but for some people it's not. And if you have a bit of extra time on your hands and you don't have the distraction, if your Christmas isn't, you know, let's say filled with family and friends, actually having more content is better. So hopefully you guys don't mind if, you know, in the next week you may get 3 Challenger Spectates and maybe 1 to 2 viewer Spectates, maybe. I'll also try and upload here at Huzzy Extra at least, maybe like some Marvel Rivals, if you guys would be interested. I'm starting to play a bit of ranked of Marvel Rivals, so I might record a match of that and upload it here. If you want to watch it, you can. If you don't have to. But anyway, today you're watching the new Viktor, and the first thing I actually want to ask you guys is, what do you guys think? He's obviously got quite controversial reaction, and the thing is, like, I watched a Riot August post about him. You know, fundamentally the champion, if anything, mechanically and everything like that, fundamentally he's gotten better in terms of what he does. You know, his mechanics are staying the same, his ultimate is gained, not lost anything, and his stacking, you know, of his hex core has been made easier. But yes, you are getting less per kill, but you're getting more consistency of per cannon. You're getting those 5 that you've lost for takedowns. Also, obviously, range versus melee matchup, so he's trying to make the most of it. This, by the way, is Challenger EU West, high quality game, and I worth knowing. So the 2 top damage champions in this game were Viktor and Jace. So keep that in mind. But I would say, like, his redesign, I'm not offended by it. I don't think the redesign would really offend me. Like I've always said, I've never gotten that into a champion that I would realistically care that much. Like if there's a champion that I like and they change, let's say they're doing an Anivia remake and the new Anivia I don't like, I just would move on. I don't know, like it's not been how I perceive. Like I just don't really care that much. Like, and that's the thing with me, is I've played so many champs, I just move on to the next champ. But obviously the reaction specifically of the Viktor mains has been very bad. But naturally, and this is what Riot August said, basically majority of the time that they do any type of art update, you know, Viktor's kit has stayed the same, so they can't complain about that. But when they do an art update, one, it's subjective, you either like it or not. But when it goes from something like, you know, old Viktor to new Viktor, the concept of it is the same, a man becoming more machine, a bit more human, like, you know, losing his humanity, if you will. Nice W by him. Galio is going to go for it. Does get the first blood kill. I think Viktor disrespected the Galio a little bit there, if I'm honest, but they will get the trade kill. And now they will fight with the Bel'Veth, where the Bel'Veth is not winning that battle, as Galio does a lot of base damage in the early game. Meanwhile, there's a fight here. Viktor is trying, Viego obviously is trying his best. Worth knowing, if I'm not mistaken, in the early game, he can't just get rid of the champion that he becomes, because he can't ultimate a way out of it. He actually has to let the full duration go. And now this non-extended fight is continuing. Potentially, but Viego shouldn't have gone the whole way. Viego's committing to it, maybe thinking, oh, I'm going to die anyway, because he's got his movement speed, and there you go. So that was crazy. But yeah, I think fundamentally, anytime you do an art update, this is the point I'm trying to make, the group of champion mains, one tricks, they're never going to be happy. Pretty much. Because they committed to playing that champion because they liked the champion the way it was. And then if you're doing any update to it, well, they, a lot of the time, you know, change is scary. They're never going to like it, because they're like, well, that's not the champion that I started to make. And that's where I think more the issue comes. It's not obviously gameplay. As I said, his gameplay is fundamentally basically the same. If not, it's gotten better. He does flash, does survive, but that's a lot of damage from Galio. But yeah, what do you guys think? Like, again, do I think it's a downgrade? Yes and no. I think it's a 50-50. Obviously, Viktor's old model was old, so his actual, like, graphics, if you will, are better. They're more modern. My only, I would say, oh, dearie me, oh, God. Well, oh, they're going to miss that as well. My only, I would say, big complaint, and they're going to get probably this double kill as a return. I don't know why the Rel's spending so much time. But remember, this is Challenger, so no duo queue. Yes, you get, you know, in Challenger especially, you get to the bit of the weird rating that they could duo, but not duo. If you're like, what does that mean? So in Challenger, there's only 300 players. And let's say they played this game earlier today, which I think it was, and they played it in the day, let's say at 1 p.m. Well, how many of those 300 Challenger players are one individual players? Well, suddenly, let's say one Challenger guy has 2 accounts. Well, maybe a few Challenger players have 2 accounts. So maybe it's 250 players that are unique Challenger at any given time on a US. If you're accounting for people having multiple accounts, or maybe it's a bit more than that. Maybe 275 players are unique. And then how many of them are playing at 1 p.m. on a Monday, like on a Monday, in a work day, on a school day, on a university day? Not many, maybe 50, if that. They can get themselves in the same games quite easily. If you and a Challenger friend go, right, let's queue up in 3, 2, 1, boom, you've queued up at the same time, the likelihood of you being in the same game at any point is very high, let alone if it's in the middle of the day on a Monday. You're increasing your chances. If you're playing on a weekend or in the evening, it'll be a little bit less chance. But that's basically where you can kind of duo queue without duo queuing. And that does lead to the problem that some people say, what happens if you're on the enemy team? Well, that's where you get sometimes in the world of win trading. That's what win trading is. You queue up at the same time. You're on the same team. You play really well as you can together, basically duoing in a rank that's not allowing duo because it's too advantageous. And if you're on the enemy team, well, which one of you kind of want to climb more, for whatever reason, you know, a lot of the time they won't make it really, really obvious, but they don't play as well. They don't go help their team. They make that little mistake by accident, and their friend gets the win. That's win trading. That's the less obvious version. There is a more obvious version. Meanwhile, Rel mid lane again. Viktor doing pretty good in the 1v1, but like, what can he do when Rel is living mid lane? This is the negative of being an immobile mage, is roaming, and obviously the modern game, it favors a lot about roaming. So you can see the Viktor is being annoyed by the Rel. He's pinging the Rel going, bro, she's in my lane again. And this is where sometimes you would like your bot lane to achieve things. But the problem is with the timing, and this is where Viktor, I guess, just didn't notice, his bot lane is doing pretty damn well. I would say probably in part to the Rel not being bot lane a lot. But at that point where Rel roamed, you can see the Belveth is being annoyed at the Jhin for some reason. The Rel roamed to mid when Jhin was either killed or bullied out of lane. So the Rel had nothing to achieve in bot lane, so she roamed. So Viktor probably just didn't notice or wasn't told or whatever that Rel might come mid. So he went for that 1v1 and boom, it wasn't a 1v1. So you can see it from both angles. It is very annoying for Viktor because, you know, if, you know, Tam is now top lane, by the way, which is a bit peculiar. He's just going for like a dive. He's got Viego, gets the stun, and they do get the kill, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, if, you know, where I think Viktor would probably mindset come in goes, right, if you're bullying Jhin out, why doesn't Tam Kench come mid at the same time as well? And that's true, that's valid. But yeah, Viktor's very good. I do like his playstyle. I like his kit. It's got a very cool feel to it. I would say it's a partial skill-based kit. If anything, you know, and there's Rel, I think, again, by the way, peeking out in the bottom of mid there. If anything, and people were like, Huz, what the hell are you saying? You know, you've said mages have not been amazing for a long time. They haven't. If anything, I do think Viktor's late game damage might hilariously be too much. But the percentage of games that Viktor actually gets to absolute late game is quite low. A lot of games don't get to absolute late game anymore, you know? That's one thing I think they're wanting to achieve next year is slowing down the game. You know, Baron is spawning at 20 minutes at the moment. Well, we're getting the new boss at 20 minutes. And then Baron is being pushed back to 25. Well, that's going to slow down the game. I think Riot finally has kind of got into the mindset that they're not Fortnite. And that's a good thing. Because that's basically what happened. And I'd like to talk about this topic more and more and more. Meanwhile, what Viktor's doing here, by the way, is hard forcing. And he's going to get a solo kill, maybe. Oh, he doesn't just. I'd like to maybe talk about this topic more. So if I do a league discussion, I've not done one of them in, God, over a year or two. Basically, Riot recently has come up with an article, Riot Trindamere, or not an article, but like a post, saying he's stepped up again into a leadership role at Riot. So he wasn't in a leadership role. You know, the leaders of Riot weren't leading. And basically, the people that were put in place to lead, there's a TP here, Galio flanking. Meanwhile, Viktor has not noticed. We had vision of that because we're getting the perspective of vision of the Viktor, but I guess he just wasn't scared. But yeah, so basically, the people that were put in charge have not done a good job the last couple of years. It's fundamentally what he said. He wasn't trying to blame them, but it's basically what he said. So he's coming back in terms of a leadership angle. And in essence, what has happened is League in the last couple of years has been moving away fundamentally from what League is. Meanwhile, Viktor's not coming over. He's got low mana, but he's going to TP. He's got Blackfire first item, what gives him burn, and it gives him mana, so it's kind of a win-win. He's going to make his way over, but I don't know if they can actually win this fight, but they can at least try and stop them getting all of them, which is good. Obviously, Viktor himself at this stage of the game is 0-3. This has not been a great start. Dare I say, it's been a very typical Immobile mage start in modern solo queue. That you're doing kind of okay. You know, the first death was a bit sloppy, but then his next two deaths were because of roams. This is very, very, very typical, you know, game that I've played. You know, several times on Anivia, I've had games like this. You just got to obviously focus on that. Oh, I scale, I'll get strong eventually. Now, unfortunately, he's having people here. He uses his ultimate. He's got his W down. He's doing already a decent amount of damage and helps get the kill there on Belva. So luckily, Viego was about that time. Enemy team, you could definitely tell, is focusing this Viktor quite a lot, but that's the nature of an Immobile mage. They are focusable. So as I've always said, like, I don't mind it to a certain extent. Every champion should have a strength and a weakness. The weakness of a control mage like this, a mobile mage, is their strength is they scale great, their damage is great, they give good CC, some of them, but their weakness is they're vulnerable, either to ganks or they're vulnerable even in the 1v1, in terms of being CC'd. Rel is overdoing it, I would say. Oh, mid-air stun, very nice. Using ultimate. I don't know what she's doing here. I don't know, again, the thing with challenger players is they do know each other, but this Rel is throwing away this game. She's so obsessed, and she gets solo kill. She's so obsessed with stopping this Viktor. Her Jhin just died again. Pretty much just died when she was roaming, so he wasn't dead. Then she roamed. She roamed, and he died because she wasn't there. And then she just gave him a solo kill after trying to 1v1 kill him without her ignite being up. So again, challenger is that weird rank that these players will know each other. They've probably played against each other for years, and they might not like each other. That's a very big thing that people underestimate when it comes to the top echelon of solo queue. Because this Rel, I would say, has not played well. The Rel has not played well. She's so obsessed with this Viktor. Yeah, in the early game, the couple first ganks are okay, but it's sacrificed her Jhin. That's not great. But yeah, fundamentally, as I said about the topic before, I think Riot has finally realized that they're not Fortnite. They're not a game that should be catering to 11-year-olds. It shouldn't be a game that finishes after 15-20 minutes. It's okay if the game goes a bit longer, because the older audience likes that. The original audience likes that. And I think they're going to try and bring it back to what it's always been, which is cool. That's what I want. That's what every, I think, person wants. So that... Oh, is he not even dead? Wow, good ulti. They had no way of stopping him. Oof. I would say another big thing that I would say I like about the new Viktor, I love that he flies when he uses his ult. I think that is sick. Rel's mid lane again. Oh, this Rel. So they will be looking for the tower. So bot lane tower is dead, top lane tower is dead. So the Aurora's not having the best of time either. Obviously, I don't really rate Jace as a great champion. He's a lane bully that in most matchups cannot bully. And his scaling, it's weird. Jace, sometimes his scaling can be good, but in a lot of games it can't. Obviously, going a tier build with Mirror Mana, it does give him better scaling. But, you know, it's not like he's a late game hyper carry. Fuzzy cannon. Again, missing cannons, remember, nowadays is worse than it's ever been on Viktor because you are losing direct hex core stacks. Nowadays, it gives 10 per cannon minion, I think, where it used to give 5. So they are worth getting. So again, me playing Viktor makes me a bit nervous because my Huzzy cannons. But yeah. So the game overall is an advantage for blue team, but red do just get one kill. They're grouping up for the Rift Herald fight. Obviously, Viktor's come down for bot lane, which is a natural thing that the mid laner will go to the side lane. And basically the idea, and I still struggle with it to this day, why do they do this? Is basically to get as much solo XP as possible. Something like a Viktor, he wants to be one of the highest levels in the game. He wants to achieve level 16 quicker than the average champion. He wants to get there because that's how he can carry. Aurora also goes in 1v5. Oh, Mr. Viktor, you're doing that. Okay, questionable. He will end up dead for this, no doubt. Yeah, I'm not really sure why he just randomly walked. He is pinging, so he's angry about it. But he should not be walking in there first. His team are now following up. They do have Viktor, who's going to become somebody else. But that's still not great. So the enemy team, I think, does claim, yes, they do, Eye of the Herald, which obviously for Belveth means the empowered version of her ultimate. So every time a minion dies nearby, she also gets the voidlings, or whatever the hell you actually call them. So this is a major opportunity for the enemy team to go for a huge pushing angle. Oh, I would have just gone for the Belveth. Again, she's going to die, which is good. Nice. Become the Belveth? Wait, what? Can he not become... Why did he... Wait, what? He couldn't become the Belveth then. That was weird. So he's going to die. Galio ulting in. Rel jumping in. Again, crazy team comps going on. Jace coming back. Really good knock-up. Nut just flashes. Jace now going in 1v3. Viktor trying what he can. Good damage in the backline with the Aurora. But this is Challenger, by the way. This is insane. 60-minute massive, basically 5v5 fight. Yeah, you don't see that very often. And I will say next year, you might see it hilariously. Even though the game's going to slow down in some aspects, you might see that type of thing a bit more as well. Because what Riot are wanting to do is you've got two, think of ends of a rope. And it's a constant tug of war of which one do you care about more. Do you care about early game more? Do you care about late game more? It's a really hard thing to balance. It's a really hard thing to get right. Because if you do a lot of late game, like, you know, oh, we're moving Baron. Notice, by the way, this Viktor is always, look at his damage, it's so good. Love it. He's just 2v1ing them. He's always, and that's kind of the trick. If you're looking to pick up Viktor, you're looking to play him, 2v1 basically double kill. He's always Wing himself with the ultimate if he's getting jumped on. Because it basically means, okay, you're going on me, well, you're going to get stunned. Even if I'm stunned, my ultimate is on top of you and you're getting stunned at the same time. It's enabling him to be, well, it's giving him safety and it's giving him, well, increased amounts of free damage. So that's a very big thing. It's basically, at the same time, W ult. Every time. Yeah, so next year, we're getting feats of strength. And basically, the team that achieves 2 out of 3 feats of strength gets a boot upgrade, which the other team literally cannot get. It's not like what I thought was going to be of, oh, they get the upgrade for free and the other team have to buy it. No, they get the upgrade, the other team doesn't get it. It's not a lot of stats, but it's free stats. Free stats help you win games. So that's a big thing. And then the other thing is whichever side of the map has more kills is where the new boss is going to spawn. So the spawn point of the new boss is here and here. I did actually ask Riot, you know, did they not think of doing it in the alcoves? And I did get an answer from Froxon. He said, yes, they tested it, but it was too isolating. And it was also too punishing for the team that walked in there first. The whole team walked in here first and they made it a bit of a bigger area. They were completely trapped in. And that was a bit unfair in a way. So, yeah. Anyway, dragon fight happening. Viktor TPs. Nice flank by Tam. What can they do? Galliot coming down. The W, though. Oh, she stole it. Viktor ult coming down. Really good steal by the thingy. Not the best player, has to be said, from Viktor's team. You know, because Viktor, it is worth saying, he's not a happy bunny. The Tam, I don't know. If the Tam could have eaten Viktor, he 100% should have. That would have been the right play to do. This is obviously the Tam Kid support killing the Belveth. Obviously, of recording, heck, Heartsteel is too strong still. They have not changed this item yet. Apparently, it's getting changed in the new year. I don't know why they keep delaying it, but they are. But it will be a bit more balanced in the new year, apparently. For the likes of Mundo, Tam, stuff like that are very good. Hilariously, the champion that did not benefit very much from the new Heartsteel, by the way, is Sion. Because the damage on everything, it basically scales off I think it's bonus health, something like that, or max health. I can't remember which way around it benefits, but basically Scion's scaling, it doesn't work perfectly with it. Trust me, it's not bad, but it's just not as good as it used to be, in essence. Build, by the way, for Viktor. So there are several builds, and this is another thing that I think is very strong for Viktor. Some control mages have literally one kind of build, and that's the main build that they do, and that's all they can really do. Viktor has like 3 that are pretty decent. So Viktor's got this build, probably the most standard build, is burn, very high damage, good wave clear, does okay burst, does good burn DPS over time, especially with his ultimate. Then there's the burst build, which is Luden's Rush with Lichbane, so a lot more burst centric, but not very good at killing tanks. Oh, Viktor ultimate coming down. Weird, was that a weird flash by Galio? I think it was. So again, Viktor ultimate, look at it, grows in size. So every time he gets a kill, it gets bigger, and actually can extend itself by, I think, 4 seconds, 2 seconds each time, with a maximum of 2 extensions. That will be Baron. That was a really nice play by blue team. Viktor's actually not going to go over and help with the Baron because they have enough DPS and he can actually go achieve other things. So a tier 2 on a Viktor would be great. But yeah, and then the third build, if you will, for Viktor, there is another build floating about that, you know, you could go pretty early death cap, but you'd go maybe like Luden's into death cap. That build, I would say, it's basically the burst build, but you're really fed at the point that you'd buy Lichbane. Instead of Lichbane, you go death cap instead. But that is again a bit more bursty. But what's also nice with Viktor is you can intertwine builds as well. So this build, he's got burn item, burst item. He then could go Lichbane, it would work. Then go death cap last item, or he could go death cap next, and he could round it off with, you know, he's got these 2 items here that, you know, that could be a death cap, that could be a Lichbane, or could be a mage. He's got really good options, and a lot of mages, I'll say, they do have these options, but I think Viktor, it works really well, especially like, you know, not every mage, control mage, whatever you want to call them, they can't all go Lichbane. Anivia cannot go Lichbane. It's not beneficial. Basically, the only ones that go Lichbane usually have some type of auto attack thing inbuilt in their kit. Not all. Like, officially, I don't think Ari officially has an auto attack thing in her build. She just can auto attack quite easily, ulting next to somebody, auto attacking. So the Viktor using his ult that early, it's not bad. It's basically to completely deter the Belveth of going in. Like, bam, you're nearly dead, you have to back away, otherwise you're dead here. It's a deterrent. It works quite well. The Belveth, obviously, at this stage of the game is quite squishy. She hasn't got to the phase that some Belveth do, that they buy like a yak show eventually. She might, if the game lasts long enough. But no. So Viktor, I think you can tell, even though his KD is not immensely impressive, his farm is okay. It's completely fine. And his damage, you can see, is high. You know, for a game that he has been, let's be fair, like, quite punished a lot. And, oh, he finally got him. Nice. Very nice. Just walk in a straight line. Just walk in a straight line. Oh, Belveth going for it. Doesn't get it. Very nice flash by Viktor. Good team backup. And Viktor returning damage in the back of the fight. So that was actually pretty good. I don't know why. Again, no idea. And the Viktor obviously has been a bit of a spam pinger, so maybe people find him annoying. And obviously, you know, the thing with Challenger is this game, he's on the enemy team. Well, sometimes this Viktor player will be on your team. But he has been the main focus of the enemy team this game, no doubt, like 100%. But he does finish this game doing the highest damage in the game. So that's new Viktor. I do see myself playing him, I will say. I haven't fully decided, obviously, and, you know, we'll see how the changes go. I've not decided what my direction of player style wants to be next year. You know, do I want to play mid? Do I want to play top? I don't know. Jungle? I'm not sure. Obviously, I'll always play multiple roles, but I'm not sure what my focus will be. You know, years ago, my focus, you know, was I want to be a really good Anivia, and we made it to be rank 5 in the world, rank 1 in US Anivia. That was cool. I don't know if I want to try and do something like that again. Not probably with Anivia, maybe with a different champion. I don't know. But anyway, that's going to be it. If you guys enjoy, do let me know what you think of new Viktor. I think he's cool overall. I think I didn't even touch upon it. The only thing that I would wish they would do with his kit, think he's a little bit too skinny. Just make him, just give him a little bit more fluff. Just a little bit. Even if it's just his clothes, just to give him that little bit more kind of... I think the old Viktor had that kind of powerful grounding, I'm taking over the world ruler kind of vibe. This one doesn't have that. And I think that's what the old Viktor players are missing. But anyway, that's going to be it. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time.